Okay, in this video, I'm going to teach you about how to solve the 2014 past year question for MF, and this is paper 1, question number 1. Alright, so you can see this is past year question, and for this question is a function question, and I think it's 2 to 3 mark question. It's pretty simple. So yeah, you have to understand how to solve the question like this. Alright, so over here, like diagram 1 will show the relation between the set A and set B in the arrow diagram form. So basically you can see this is set A, yeah, and then this line is set B. Alright, and then for this diagram, the important part is the arrow. So you have to understand when the arrow from -2 to 4 is different meaning with 4 to -2. You really need to understand that. So this is 1 to 1 and 2 to 4. Alright, this is diagram 1. Right. So A, the question asks you to represent the relations in the form of order pair. So what is the meaning for order pair here? Yes, you have to understand what is the meaning for order pair. So whenever the question asks you to do order pair, mean you will have something like, you have to write something like A and B inside this order. So normally, the first value over here, we write the value from the domain, and this value is from the codomain. Okay, so in this case, A is the value in the set A, and B over here is the value from the set B. And because this is function chapter, so even you solve this one, you will write out a loss of pair order A, B, C, D. Okay, A, B, C, D is just a constant, but then the important part is you must use this symbol. This symbol you see in set, isn't it? The chapter set. Yes, you have to use this symbol for all the order pair. Alright, so what I will do here, this question, the first question, A is very simple. So I just write down all my order pair. So let's say I will do something like this, A. So when I write my order pair, I will write this symbol. And then you must from A to B. You cannot write B to A, is wrong. So this is -2 and 4. Alright, then I write a comma, then another bracket. This one is 1 to 1. So 1 to 1, comma, and then this one is 2 to 4. You must follow the arrow. It's so important to follow the arrow. Okay, then I close it, and then I have to draw this symbol, close also. Then you will get one or 2 mark. Alright, so this is how we solve for A. Okay, you cannot simply write 4 -2, you will get wrong or minus mark. Alright, then let's go into B. Okay, for B, he asks you state the domain of the relation. So you have to understand what is the meaning for domain. So if the set A and set B, I draw in the domain pattern, it will look like this. Okay, this one we call it domain, and this one we call it codomain. So the idea is still the same. So the domain you have is whatever in the set A, -2, 1, and 2. And for codomain, you have 1 and 4. So it's the same idea, like -2 will connect to 4. Then you connect to 4, maybe you have a dot for 4 here, and 1 you will connect to 1. A dot here, and 2 you will connect to 4. Okay, so the question asks you to state the domain of the relation. So what I will do is, I will do B, and then I will write domain. And then same thing, I have to use this symbol. Okay, then I write down all the domain I have, which is -2, 1, and 2. So you just -2, 1, and 2. Then you'll get the full mark for it. This is how we write domain over here. Alright, so just something extra because I just trying to explain more about this thing. So if the question asks you to find range, okay, range is the value in the codomain, and it must connect with the value in the domain here. So the range will be 1 and 4. 1 and 4. Alright. Okay, so for example, if the question asks you to write the object. Normally, whatever elements in the domain, we call it object. So you can still write -2, 1, and 2. Or the question might ask you to write, label out all the image. So image will be 1 and 4. Okay? But then normally, the question won't ask like this. The question normally will ask you about what is the image of 2. So you know image of 2 is 4. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is whatever element inside the domain, this is object, 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 this is image, image. So if the question asks you about object of 4, then you have to know object of 4 basically is 2 and -2. So you will write 2 and -2. Okay, or the question maybe ask you about image of 1. So image of 1 is just 1. So it's just 1. Alright. Okay, this is the first video and first question. Yeah, I hope over this video you can understand. Okay, this is the proper working. Okay, normally you will give mark for this one and this one. You can ignore all this. This is just an example I'm trying to explain. Alright, thanks for watching the first video.